thinking about where the needs are and how I'm pitching this product. Is it humor? Is it serious? Is it an expensive product? Do I need long form copy, short form? What would my funnel look like? I'm just going through that process and coming up with a ton of ideas that I can take back and then run in my next ad campaign. Hey, Steve Hirschman here, and in today's I'm going to show you how I'm using AI to improve our copyright processes and really speed it up more than anything. I've been doing copy for over a decade, and the process has changed over time as more tools have come up, as the internet's got faster, and it speeds up your accessibility to the data you need. For example, Amazon reviews, useful to get deeper into a niche, in particular if I don't know the niche, or looking at SEO tools, SEMrush, like Uber Suggest, that allow you to find topics relevant right now, people are talking about. What I'm trying to do is get myself into the mindset of my prospects. I believe I can sell anything to anyone. I go into any niche and become an expert, just through following the process, like who is my avatar, their pain points, opportunities, where are they right now, where do they want to get to, how do I create that bridge in my ad, my copy, my land, or my blog post, my email or funnel, wherever it is. There's a defined process. I will argue right now, AI is very good and very useful, but depending on when you watch this video, AI, it needs human input, it needs human direction. That's what I'm going to be covering off today. I've seen some tests of people testing AI copy versus human copy. And they'll come into a tool like ChatGPT from a company called OpenAI, and people will come into this or other AI copywriting tools, create the copy and split test it on an ad or a land or an email versus human copy. I don't believe that's a fair test, and I'll show you why that is. So in the BPM method, when I start off with copy, I start with my avatar. If you've been through the BPM method, you'll know this. If not, this is my approach. The 5W avatar. The 5 Ws are who are we speaking to, what is the transformational opportunity, the emotional why, the rational why. So emotional being things that work on the heart, rational being things that work on the mind, and then why not. The 5 Ws I fill out before I start working on projects, whether it's my offer, whether it's a client's offer. I can become an expert very quickly just by filling a form. And this goes all the way to creating my ad copy, my landers, my funnels. Everything comes off of this as a base. Now, when I'm filling this out, I'm initially starting off with just trying to figure out who it is, I'm speaking to and what their transformations are. So for example, if I show you one that has been completed, this is an avatar for women buying gifts for their partners. And the transformation or opportunity is the perfect personalized gift for that special moment between you. We're trying to kind of build memories and things like that. Then there's some emotional wise, so seeing my partner's face when receiving the gift. Now, but I'm creating something that money can't buy, or at least you can't put a price against. If you say, hey, how much would you pay to make your partner happy and see happiness in their face? You can't really, it doesn't compute. There isn't a logical way that you can bring your numbers in. Then these are the kind of functional benefits. These would almost be like the feature list. So this product is personalized, it's durable, fast shipping. These are often things advertisers end up leading with, but we kind of use those as secondary features and benefits and reasons to buy. What I'm doing with each of these is they become an angle for my ad. And then what I'm doing is bulking, like adding in the responses to turnaround objections. So objections will be, how does this work? Can I trust you? Who are you? Expensive, lack of reviews. They're potential barriers. And this is just an example. And then the response. So it looks expensive, or demonstrate the value and the emotional benefits. For example, if you're selling personalized jewelry, which is this personalized gift store, there are so many options out there. So how do you stand out? Some people will go straight down price. It will be like 70% off, buy one, get one free, or whatever kind of offer it is. And they're very much focusing on the rational why to buy, but they're missing out on the emotional. And if you can crack this, people are more likely to spend more and also come back and buy more as well. So that's the way we kind of pitch our products. Going beyond that is then looking at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is something that was created many, many decades ago, but I like to use this as a model, and there are fans of this, people that don't like it as well. I use this as a model to understand where my product sits in that person's life. So for example, if I'm selling personalized jewelry, the bottom of this pyramid are the basic needs. So food, water, sleep. Does jewelry help with that? Does gifting help with that? No. Safety? No. Love and belonging? 100%. So relationships, love, and friendship. And what I know is at the bottom of the pyramid, I don't need to explain my products much if I'm selling into that market, because I don't need to explain why you need food, water, or sleep, but I may need to explain why my product related to that is different to yours. And I also know the higher you go up the pyramid, the more you can actually charge for that product as well. So for example, this is why, coaching programs, self-help, the Tony Robbins style programs, they end up charging more, because what you're actually giving people is a bigger transformation. Like if you're selling food, water, a sleep aid, things like that, it gets harder to charge more, because you're not really offering something that helps them to grow bigger, maybe make more money, maybe growing happiness and things like that. And the reason I'm sharing this is this goes into our process of creating the avatar document. And where this relates back to the AI tools is it's given me ideas on how to actually use the knowledge of the AI and the ability to kind of help come up with ideas to fill out my avatar sheet, and then to create ad copies off the back of that as well. And then what I actually do is, once I have these angles, I then turn those into ads. So angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, I use the AIDA format, so attraction, interest, desire, and action, to turn that into ad copy. So, this is a really simple template. And by the way, I'll make sure you got the template for these linked to the video as well. So you can actually download and kind of play around with these yourself as well. So if I show an example of this being filled out, the example being, this was for an affiliate offer that we were actually pushing. So it was for a neck hammock. So for example, suffering with constant neck pains, struggling to sleep at night, is neck pain keeping you up at night? So there's 5 different angles. And what we often do is the attraction is the thing that we'd play around with. And that's the headline from the ad copy, like the first thing the person sees. And that links into the creative. And then we'd come up with the interest area, desire, and the action. And we'd copy that for all the ad variants, just changing the angle. And that comes from the avatar creation process, and then coming up with different ideas so that we can actually have a batch of ads to play with. So you're probably wondering, well, we've been talking about AI and kind of how does that fit in? So we've got 2 examples here. One is this jewelry brand. The other one is a neck hammock. What the cool thing about this is it's designed, ChatGPT, and there are many AI tools. So I don't want to necessarily recommend a tool or say this is the one you should be using. And by the way, ChatGPT right now is free, but it's in learning phase. The company behind it, OpenAI, have just opened it up so they can learn. So there might be an error as I'm going through this. Maybe I hit limitations, whatever it is. We're going to flow with it and see what we can do. So as a very simple example, let's say we're talking about neck pain. So what are the most common reasons for neck pain? Now, you could do that here. I'll wait for the AI to fire up. Or you could do it in Google. Now, the thing is, and you can compare the results here. So there are many potential causes of neck pain: muscle strain or tension, muscle strain, worn joints, nerve compressions, injuries, disease. So you can kind of come up with this. So the difference, and I think this is the first thing I want to touch on, is the difference between something like ChatGPT, which is designed as a chat guy, and Google, is that Google doesn't carry context from search to search right now. So if I say what are the most common reasons for neck pain, and if I say, like, for example, I want to go more into muscle strains, I would have to say what kind of muscle strains are the most common reasons for neck pains, for example. So I have to kind of retype that search in. So then if I look here, so this is on the AI. So many potential reasons, muscle strain or tension, me examples of what might cause a muscle strain. Now, the thing about this, and this is all live, by the way, so I don't know if it will give me the answers that I expect, but what it's doing is it's keeping the context of the conversation. So let's just see what it comes up with here. What I'm doing here is to show you my research process. So for example, I don't have much experience of neck pain, common problems and things like that. And I'm trying to build up my avatar. So who are we speaking to? People that are suffering from neck pains, What's the transformation or opportunity? Relief from neck pain, sleep better, things like that. We're going into this here, and we might go into this and say, right, we've got our potential causes, muscle strain or tension. Give me examples of what might cause a muscle strain. And then we say, what impact might this have on someone's life? And what you're doing is using this as a back and forth way of just trying to get deeper into understanding the way we can construct our avatar. So what I'm doing here is showing how I would use this and why it's better than Google for me right now, of getting deeper and deeper into understanding my avatar. So now I've done a general search. So already, like, what are the most common reasons for neck pain? So I already have these already. So I can think about who my prospects are and where I can pitch my ad angles. Then I'm kind of going into understanding the different aspects of it. So aging is one of them. And so I can come back with that as well. Now I'm doing a deeper dive into someone's life. So muscle strains can cause pain, pain limits activities, limited mobility, loss of function, inconvenience. So now hopefully what you can see is different angles here. So I could go in with the pain and the pain causing for everyday activities. So for example, if I, start to think about my emotional whys, for someone with neck pain, it could be limited mobility and can't do the things that you want to do. It could be lack of sleep, which is making you feel really bad in the next day. Loss of function, so physical activities again, inconvenience, so daily routine, etc. What impact does this have on sleep? And what I'm doing is to try and kind of come up with those different ideas and examples. So for example, if I start to fill this out, and I'll delete this because this is actually a template, people suffering from neck pain. And the thing about this is, as I'm building up my avatar, I'm trying to get it down to a level where I can start speaking directly to someone. So for example, if I say, who are we speaking to? People suffering from neck pain. What's the transformation? We could just say more mobility to do the things you enjoy. And I'm just going to see what comes up here. Pain, difficulty getting comfortable, disrupted sleep, stress and anxiety. So as I go through this, I'm now starting to think, right, sleep is a big thing. So sleep plus age. And I know this niche as well, but I saw this come up. So it said, aging, as we age, muscles become less flexible, prone to injury, etc. Sleep has come up as well. So I might edit this and say older people suffering from neck pain, and I might just even put like painless sleep. Like that in itself, it doesn't have to be a whole paragraph or anything like that. This is just to help you kind of pitch, who am I speaking to and what am I kind of creating? So older people suffering from neck pain, you could say, 55 plus, maybe that's your kind of market. Painless sleep, like that's all it needs to be, for example. So emotional why, sleep better and have more energy the next day. Let's see what it says here. Pillow, mattress, medication, relaxing techniques, etc. Also muscle to heal and seek medical attention. So for example, sleep better and have more energy the next day through our neck hammock. So this was the product that we were affiliating on. So sleep better and have more, avoid the need for medication, because that could be something that's meaningful for some people as well. What else do we have here? Avoid the need for expensive mattress and pillow. I'm just going to say configs. Like, this is just to give you an example. But what I'm trying to do here is give you an idea of how to use this information to build this up. This rational why comes from your own products. So this could be, free delivery, 90-day free, might be a kind of free 30-day returns, safe material, whatever it is. They're all just things that you come up through your product. But as I'm going through this, I'm trying to figure out what I can do to kind of come up with ideas. So how might a neck hammock help? So what I'm trying to do is get deeper into, because this is a big learning model. So the data that comes into this AI is based on it being fed lots and lots of information. So think dictionaries, encyclopedias, blogs, white papers, things like that. And so what I'm trying to do is to show you how to access that data and have a conversation essentially with the robot behind this, or the AI, so that you can kind of get an idea of how you can start to pitch your own product in your ad, in your copy, in your angles as well. So for example, here it is trying to mimic a chat. So it's kind of typing it slowly. To be honest, it can literally just paste this all in. So neck hammock, small design, small device, personalized on the back, relief of muscles tension, improved posture. So like that's another one. So improved posture leading to less back and leg pain. Like they're just things that I'm pulling out as potential. So not a substitute for medical treatment, not be used as a replacement. Okay, so that's fine. So I've now got an idea for filling out my avatar. Now what I would do here is this. So let's say sleep better and have more energy the next day. Now this is where it gets interesting. So you could say create an ad that helps someone sleep better and have more energy the next day. And this is I guess where it becomes really cool, because you can start building out your ad copy. You can start building out your creative ideas. You can start building out your headlines, your emails, anything like that, once you've been through this process. So you could, for example, if it's a niche that you know, create this very quickly yourself, you know, like this one here. This is my own gift store. So this is an e-commerce store that I like to test around with a lot. So I knew the brand, I knew the product and the prospect and things like that. So that was very quick for me to create that. Neck hammock, I'm not necessarily an expert. I know I've run the offer before, but I showed you the process of how I'd fill in that avatar sheet. And then we start talking about creating an ad. So for example, here, are you struggling to get a good night's sleep? Are you waking up feeling tired and unable to tackle your day? Our new sleep better pillow is here. Like obviously it's made this up. This is random. This would be our new neck hammock product is here to help. And it's kind of made this up. So write the ad again, but replace sleep pillow with neck hammock. I don't even know that this will work. This is just showing you how you can kind of use the tool to kind of come up with different iterations of copy, headlines, and things like that. And it also shows the limitations. So create an ad that helps someone sleep better. I've been talking about neck hammock and things like that, but it's gone straight into pillow. So it's done this again. Look no further than the neck hammock. Our neck hammock is portable, easy to use device that gets traction. So you can see it's actually edited the copy. It's not talking so much about the pillow. It's now talking about the things that we were just mentioning before. So compact size, lightweight design. Now, you could look at that and say, all right, that's great. Write the ad with more emotional copy. And again, it's just kind of, imagine you're working with a copywriter. The copywriter comes back and you say, hey, this is okay, but it just doesn't feel emotional. It's very functional or logical or things like that. This is how I would use a tool like this to come up with iterations. So rewrite the ad with more emotional copy. Are you tired of struggling with neck pain? Do you feel poor posture is holding you back, etc.? So it's fairly similar. I'm just looking at, so like some of the language has changed. So like, do you feel like that in itself is just turning it back on them. So like, rather than saying, are you looking for a natural, non-invasive way to alleviate these issues, which it sounds quite clinical, it's turned it around and said, do you feel like poor posture is holding you back? Also increased. So like here, imagine waking up feeling refreshed and rejuvenated, ready to tackle whatever the day throws your way. And this is where you can play that around. So that then could become your headline. So you might say, like, what I would say about this is you don't have to use the copy as it comes back. And I think this is where some of the split tests I've seen are quite poor. So they might even take this first example and say, right, this is what AI created. I'm going to run that as an ad and I'm going to write professional one and testing. Oh, AI doesn't work. No, it's not AI that doesn't work. It's your process that doesn't work. So even this, like, I wouldn't use it as is, but then I might turn that into my copy document and say, I really like this angle. Imagine waking up feeling refreshed and rejuvenated, ready to tackle whatever the day throws your way. And that might be accompanied by someone that's, just going like that with their neck, or maybe I wouldn't use the picture of the product, but something related to neck pain. So then that's kind of how I would start to pick out parts of the copy. And then for my interest, I'd say, be looking for parts of this copy that really feel like I can start pulling this in. So so even this, so like I would pull this in here. So when I'm writing copy and I'm looking at add copy, the first lines in my copy are what I'm trying to hook in, and the interest is just then trying to nudge them further. So don't let neck pain and poor posture control your life any longer. And then the desire part is then pulling out linking them to the product. So I might use this. This is just kind of showing you on the fly kind of how I'd use it. And then the action, I don't even know if this would work. Create a call to action. Let's see what it comes back with. So now already I have the template for my copy. So don't let neck pain and poor posture control your life. I have all these different ones. And all I need now is a few more add angles. So if we come back to here, let's see what other angles. So are you struggling? So like that could be one of them. So we copy that into here. It's struggling to get a good night's sleep. Even that itself could be another headline test as well. So like, I just want to kind of show you here. That's going to bug me. I'm just going to put that there. So imagine waking up feeling refreshed. Are you struggling to get a good night's sleep? Are you waking up feeling tired and unable to tackle your day? That's already 3 copy variants that I can then work on to create ads. And then if I create another 3 creative variants on top, I've created 9 ads, because then that's 3 ad copies and 3 ad variants. And let's have a look here. So ready to get the relief and support you need for your neck. Don't wait any longer. Okay, I'll take it as it is. I don't think that's great, but just to give you an example, then I would paste that in. So that's kind of my ad copy written. Now you could look at this and say, right, I like this one, but I want it shorter. Shorten this copy. So you push it back in and say, right, I like this format. And what I want you to take away from this is I'm playing around with jigsaw pieces here. I'm not going to the AI and saying, hey, I would just want you to come up with a perfect copy, because right now it won't be able to do that. Maybe in a year or 2 years time, it would be a lot better to do that. But what I'm trying to do is to show you the process that I would go through. And you don't need to be a native speaker. Like, for example, whatever language whichever one your native language is and where you're advertising, you can come into this very easily and come up with great ideas. So for example, let's say your native language is French, you're coming to Google France, do translate and say, hey, translate this into English, come into here, paste this in. If you're advertising in England, for example, then you might come into here and say to French. So then again, it's not going to be perfect, but you know your base language. So we can come back and get this into a format. Then you can kind of take this back into your language that you're advertising in. Like, let's say, for example, I'm advertising this neck hammock into the French market. I've just done this whole process in my native language. And then right at the end, now that I've got a short copy, and maybe this is the one that I want to use, I can then quickly convert that into French. And I might have someone who's French speaking in my team. Maybe I have French as a second language. And then I can format this and play around with it and then use that as my base. Now I might say, create a website headline, and let's just see what it comes with from that as well. There you go. Like that's pretty good. There you go. Let's see what it comes back with. So experience relief from neck pain and poor posture with the next hammock, transform your daily comfort with. Like these in itself are great ad angles. Now you can imagine with a website, you can then test 5 of these variants. You might say, give me 5 more examples. So like this is how you can kind of build on from this as well. So these are pretty good. I'd say get the support you need. I'm not sure about revolutionize your neck comfort. Get the support you need, elevate your comfort. Okay, so like now you can see how I'm going from avatar to kind of add copy to landing page headlines. Like you can use these as ad headlines as well. But now I want to take it into creative. So the question might be, well, all right, we've come up with the creative. So we've come up with the copy. How do you come up with the creative? Now there are tools. We can actually come up with the the digital creative. I want to show you how you can actually use this to come up with some scripts. So create a video to show how to demonstrate our neck hammock product. Demonstrate how our neck hammock improves sleep, energy, and happiness. So now, like, as I've gone deeper into this process of getting into the avatar, I've talked about sleep, I've talked about the pain, the suggestions have come back on energy levels, blood flow, and things like that. And now what it's doing is coming up with ideas that I could use in a video script. Now, I could, for example, go to Fiverr or Upwork, or there are UGC websites out there, and say, hey, I might send them the neck hammock and say, can you run this script with a neck hammock and send back a video that I can use in my ads? So you might send this over, say, hey, my name is, I want to show you how the neck hammock has changed my life. And again, that person would be linked to your ideal prospect. So for example, here, I'd be looking for someone who's 55 plus that does have neck discomfort, get them to use it and then send this back. Hi, I'm such and such. This is how it's changed my life. Used to struggle with neck pain, poor posture, was taking it to, like, the cool thing about this is the AI's intelligence is on knowing how to form sentences and predicting what you're kind of looking for. So you could kind of look at this and say, well, how does the AI know that this is the script to come up with? It's got access to so much data. So this is what it's come back with. I used to struggle with neck pain and poor posture, and it was taking a toll on my sleep. Would toss and turn all night. This is not a bad script. Then I heard about neck hammock. I was blown away with the results. Very first night, nose to sleep, difference, benefits, and stop. Like, this took seconds to create. Now, obviously, I went through a process, but once I got the kind of avatar on that, it took a few seconds to create. Now, imagine sending this to someone in your team who's going to kind of turn this into a proper script, or you might give it more feedback and say, create it again, but so you might say, rewrite this with more, like, I was going to say humor. I don't think this is a humor-based product, but just as an example, you might say, I don't think this is suitable for this product, but this is what you can do. You can say, rewrite this with humor, and it will go back and look at what it just sent you and then add some humor into it. Now, I wouldn't recommend for neck pain and whatever, but who knows? Maybe you test it. Maybe it's a script that you do test that captures attention and stuff like that. But this is the process that I go through to try and come up with ideas and variants to then feed into what I want to do. So if this was the script, I would probably look at this and maybe change a few words. Let's see what comes up with. So here we go. That's so, like, before I discovered the neck hammock, I was a hot mess, had chronic pain, struggling, I'd lay in bed, trying every position. And when I did finally fall asleep, I would wake up feeling like I'd been hit by a truck. So it's not humor in the sense that's going to kind of put you off and make you feel bad and take the mick out of how you feel. Actually, I think this is quite good humor. So, but then I heard about neck hammock and I thought, what the heck, I'll give it a try. And let me tell you, I'm glad I did. The little device of being a game changer. It's like a cozy little hug for my neck. Help me fall. Like, these are good responses. So that, I think this is a good script. And what it's allowed me to do is think about ideas for how I might push this through to an influencer or a UGC respondent to kind of come back and say, here's a script. And what I would do with the person that I'd hire is say, here's a script, come up with a few variations yourself and send it over. But I think these are quite interesting ways to kind of cut through as well, because although this was good, it was quite to the point and a bit of humor, but it's in the way the copy is actually written. It's a bit more jovial. So this is more kind of happier humor as well. And it allows you to kind of go from that process right from the top of, I just want to know what the most common reasons are for neck pain, to actually coming up with a video script that's going to help you maybe on YouTube, maybe in your Facebook ad using a video, maybe on your landing page coming up with a VSL, so that you can actually take that process from, I don't really know too much about this niche, to I'm ready to now create some ads. Now, because I've been explaining this as I've gone along, this has taken about 25-30 minutes as a process. But I can tell you, once you get into this process, it doesn't take more than 5 to 10 minutes to come up with some really, really good ad angle hooks and different copy formats, come up with creative ideas. What kind of image could be used to sell this? And you're kind of, what you're doing is bypassing the time it takes you to either create a brief for your team or to actually just go off and create that ad. And then you can go into, maybe a stock photo library, stock video library, pull stuff out if that's what you want to do, and just use a copy to test. But in this process, I can very quickly create my ad through the angles. I can create headlines for my landing page. I can create my intro copy on my landing page, come up with video ideas, and build that all through my email. There we go. We've hit the limit, because what happens is, because this is free, and this has happened every time I've gone through this, it kind of, you hit your limits. And this is another good example of using something which is free, like ChatGPT. You do hit limits. So don't rely on a tool like this. There are paid tools that are based on credits, off tools of off the API on OpenAI, and they won't hit these limits. But as this is a free tool, I have hit the limit here. And what I can do, I can try and regenerate. I doubt it's going to work. I usually have to come back an hour later. But by this point, I've done my research. I've built my answers up, and I'm in a position where I have enough to just go away and create some ads and start running and running some testing here as well. So that's oh, here we go. It's come up. So and this is the thing, like, what kind of images could help to sell this? It's kept the context. So product images, potential customers, visualize before and after. Obviously, some ad platforms you have to be careful. Use images to depict a lifestyle. These are good examples, maybe not groundbreaking, but at least it gives you an idea. And I think this is a massive leveler for people that are not necessarily copywriters, that want to be able to write good copy, either that you don't have experience writing copy, or, you know, it's a different language to what your native is and you're selling into. Or maybe you just want to brief a copywriter, but give them a lot more content and context and speed up the process as well. So, you know, the key thing here is, and as a summary, is no matter what niche you're playing with, as long as you can build an avatar and start having a sense for who you're speaking to, you can then turn that into ad copy by going through the process of identification. So right from, doesn't matter where I'm advertising, it could be a brand new niche that I've never heard of, and, you know, thinking about where the needs are and kind of how I'm pitching this product. Is it humor? Is it serious? Is it an expensive product? Do I need long form copy, short form? What would my funnel look like? I'm just going through that process and coming up with a ton of ideas that I can take back and then run in my next ad campaign.